So we're going to start basically getting all the feet cut off ready for our fascia and soffit boards. We'll do that on both sides. This is basically a 90mm adapter for your impact driver.
Perfect weather conditions, working with all the lads. Life couldn't be better at the moment.
Good morning guys, and welcome along to another day, another week actually. It's Monday, so welcome along to another week on site. So this morning I'm here on my own. I'm all alone. Alex and Joe just popped off to another job, and Pete is doing his driving lessons. So I'm here on my own for the time being. So my first goal for today is to get up on the roof, and I'm going to start working on the ridge. Let me go upstairs on top of the roof, as if by magic. Let's be up there right about, and we're up on the roof just like that. So what we've done here, you can see that we put these bits of timber on top of our rafters. So what that enabled us to do is to basically locate on top of this ridge beam here and make sure these are all exactly where we need them to be height wise, so that when we put our ridge on, it all runs through nicely. The last thing we want to do is just try and prop them up there and put a temporary screw in where you're trying to hold it. It's a nightmare. So by putting these in, measuring down from the top, we were 60mm down. So the top point here with the timber is 60mm up off the ridge. They're all now uniform and exactly where we want them to be. So before I can remove these, we have fixed through the sides, so these are nice and solid already, but just for extra batten braces, you know us, we are going straight through the top here as well. I'm going to fix into the ridge beam that way, into the timber that's in the webbing of this steel. Once all these are removed, I can then put 25mm of insulation on top of here to prevent any thermal bridging, any condensation or anything like that. And then I'm going to run down some wall plates, some 4x3, and use that then to form what will be our ridge. Okay, so we've got our pre-drilled holes in the steel here. There's going to be two separate sections of the ridge, and what we'll do then, we'll use some TimberTech screws straight through, because obviously there's timber inside the webbing of this steel, so we can use some TimberTech screws to go straight through the top of our ridge plate. It's effectively going to be a ridge plate that's going to sit on here, and then fix through into the timber in there, so then that will form our ridge. And then we are pretty much ready for Will to start on this roof. Then we've got to move on to the flat roof. So like you've seen before, all that ply is cut for there. We just need to put in our falls behind the two velexes that are going there. And then this one needs to be cut as well, but that's not going to take long at all. Also, Alex needs to brick up to wherever the window's going to be. And then that way, then Will can get his step flashing in nice and easily. And we are good to go with that. Without further ado, I'll best get on with some work. So that's it, all the little bits of timber are off. You can see here, they're all gone now. I've used some 120, were they 150mm screws through the top. Absolutely solid, not going anywhere, so that is good. So now I can crack on with insulation. I just wanted to take a second just to show you this. This is basically a 90mm adapter for your impact driver or combi drill. Simply slots in like that, and then you can put your driver bit in the end like that, and then it gives you a 90-degree angle. Fully rotational like this. Really good bit of kit this is. Definitely should have one of these in your kit. If you haven't, there is a link in the description below, so you can pick one of these up. I think they're about 15 quid. There are cheap ones out there, but they don't tend to last that long in my experience. You might have a different opinion or whatever with them, but this one, I've had this now for probably 6 months and it's still going strong. There's no signs of any death of this yet, so yeah, it's very good. It's handy also when you're fitting kitchens. Getting the cornice around the top of the cupboards can be a bit of a squeeze when you're trying to fix it down. Using this, easy, you can just do that and just go straight in, screws in the top, no worries at all. Just really handy bit of kit really. Just thought I'd tell you about it. Right, so now I'm gonna get my insulation cut for this. Right, so I've got my 25mm insulation here. What I'm gonna do, I know that this steel ridge is 152mm wide, it's a 152 by 152. So what I'm gonna do is cut this at 155mm. I just make sure it's nice and snug then, so I can just tap it down in between the rafters on the top, and that will just keep it nice and solid. I'm also gonna put some building adhesive as well on the top of the steel, just to make sure that it's nice and solid. But obviously once I put my timber ridge plate on top, that is then going to pinch everything down anyway, but you know, just to make sure it doesn't move in the meantime, I'll just smear a bit on the back of it just for batten braces. So I've measured it, it's just over 5 meters in total, so I'm going to run off 3 strips of this, and that will easily do me for what I need. I'm just going to use my circular saw rather than setting up Pete's table saw, because I don't need it at the minute. This is easy enough just to cut straight through with that, so let's get on with it. Right, so what I've done, I've got my insulation on, but before I got my insulation on, I went across and marked where all my holes are. So if I just lift it up slightly, I can show you exactly what I mean. Or I'm going to lose the camera, one of the two. There we go. Right, so where all our individual holes are across here, I've marked them on the insulation or on the side of the wall plate here in the webbing of the steel. They're 30mm in from that point as well, from the edge. So by marking that on, I can now just pop this down, mark up, join my lines up, come in 30mm and drill a hole, and then I know then when I come to get my wall plate on top, I know exactly where the holes are going to be for me to drill straight through and fix this wall plate detail down, this ridge plate, straight down into the timber and the webbing of the steel. I've got a 13mm spade bit. It's an old one, so it doesn't matter because I know it's going to end up hitting the steel, but I need to make sure that I've got the right size hole through this so I can get it accurately when I come to put on my ridge plate detail. So you've seen that we lapped our bit of damp over here to basically encapsulate all the insulation in there, make sure it never gets wet. So what we've done here, we've basically formed a bit of a cavity tray, so folded the plastic back over itself, and then there will be a weep hole which will sit here. So that is going to be basically at the point where the edge of the frame is. So this will kick back up in here, and then any water that does actually collect will just drip straight out and down the side of the frame. So it won't leave any marks on the render because it's going to be a coloured render on here. It will just drip straight down and out of the way. Just so you know why we've done that. Also what I've done, I've just put a few additional noggins in here because Alex is going to get this blocked up now. So it just gives us a bit of extra support for this ladder frame, just to stop it twisting, because obviously we're supported up here, we've got our bars through so it's nice and solid, but every little bit of extra support will help. So we've just jacked it up a little bit, held it in place with this prop here, noggins in, then Alex can get this all blocked up, and then we can actually slate pack the underside of this just to make sure it's nice and solid and not going to move anywhere. So I'm just going to repeat the process over here now, get our plastic cut back. Alex has also blocked in here as well, just over the top, just to make sure that when we go inside we can get it all dabbed as well, so there's something for the board to go against. And yeah, just going to basically repeat that over here. What's up guys, welcome along to another day on site. So what we're doing, Alex is going to get these two windows there sorted out ready for the new sizing, because that window, like I mentioned before, is going to reduce in size. That window over there is as well. Obviously because of where the roof comes through, you can see already clearly that the roof is going to interfere with what would have been the existing window there, so that's going to be reduced in size. Joe is carrying on getting all the insulation done. Me and Pete are going to work getting this ridge done, and also we're going to start getting all these feet cut back, ready to take our fascia and soffit board so we can get this roof finished as much as possible. Right, so we've got our ridge bits cut. So this is basically our ridge plate that will sit on the top, like I explained yesterday. So let's go up here and we can have a look. So basically just going to sit in like this. So we've got another piece cut which is going to sit on this side obviously, and then all we're going to do, we're going to fix through, like I mentioned, we've got holes in the steel so we can just screw straight through using some of these timber drive screws. So we'll go straight through this timber. We'll obviously have to sink these in a little bit into here and then go straight through into the timber which is in the webbing of the steel, and then obviously just carry that on right the way through, and then that will give Will then a nice solid fix in for his batten and for his ridge tile to go onto. Right, so our ridge plate detail is in. We've got that all the way nicely in here, so it's nice and solid. And now Will can get his battens right the way up where he needs to. And obviously the ridge tile will go over the top of this and cover this up. So next up now, we're going to work down on this end, on the gable end. So we're going to start basically getting all the feet cut off ready for our fascia and soffit boards. We'll do that on both sides. We need a little bit of fiddling around to do as well, just on the end timber there on both sides, just to make sure they're actually bang on and we're running perfectly through. And that's it, so let's carry on. So we've got all our feet cut back now, so this is exactly where we need it to be to enable us to put our plant on the front as we have around the perimeter of everything. So this will just hold everything nicely together and also allow a good surface for us to fix our fascia board on. We've also cut our cuts across the bottom here, so this will now enable us to put our soffit board underneath. So we'll put some timber across the side of this as well, fix that in, so that gives us a good support there for our soffit board underneath. This timber has been cut with our 35-degree angle on it like this, so when we offer that up to here, it will sail through nicely and won't interfere with any of Will's roofing work. Good morning guys, and welcome along to another day on site. So what we're doing today, we have got bird boxes to fit here and over there. I will show you how I'm going to do those. Alex is going to get cracking with that, get our lintel in up there so that window is finished. We are then going to move across to here. Morning Joe. Morning. Joe is doing a sterling job of insulation, and also we're going to get this window done over here, so that's going to come out and basically just be slightly narrowed, so same sketch as that side but obviously mirrored over here. And then we're going to get onto these flat roofs finally. So enough talking, more working, let's do it. So I have completed the bird boxes. This is effectively just this nice square bit here, which will enable us to get our soffit board down onto here and round underneath with a nice little transition. It's just a standard feature that you do on a fascia board like this. This has got to be trimmed down here, don't be alarmed, there is a bit of a step there, that will be gone. This all needs to be trimmed in nicely just to run through with the rest of the roof, so there is a good reason for that there, don't worry. I've also replicated the same detail over there, so the overall width here is exactly the same and the upstand there is exactly the same as well, so it's all going to look nice and symmetrical once it's all finished. So next up, I'm going to get the plough plane on this, just rip this down to the right height, so that's all bang on. Pete is getting on nicely around here on this flat roof. He's working well on that, smashing through that. That other window's out now. That window is exactly where we need it to be, so he's just getting a board fixed up on the inside of there, and then that can be reduced down to the right size. Joe is smashing through the insulation. Once Joe's completed that, we can then get the rest of these boards down. This board's got to be done, same sketch over there with our falls either side, because where Joe is standing now is going to be a big Velux window in there, so obviously we need to do the same just to cast any water away from either side, and then we can get the rest of this all boarded. Good morning guys, it's a new day on site and today we've got, you guessed it, plenty to get on with. Right, so we are going to get this roof finished off today. Pete's basically got it finished up. We've got our falls over here for behind our windows, so you notice there's a bit of a step here, so our frame is going to sit on this part here and we'll basically butt up to that. The reason we didn't obviously camber the whole piece was because otherwise we'd end up crowning our frame on here, so it will sit literally up to that. Then our Alitrix and Resitrix will come up here, and then that will provide our fall then to cast water away from the back of the windows. That is the same over here as well. So this is all fixed down now. We're just going to trim this edge off across here, make sure that is nice and straight all the way down. Pete is just getting this last bit of insulation taped up so we can get our lay board up here. If you remember me saying we're going to put a 400 lay board up here so our Alitrix and Resitrix can come up and flap underneath the roof, so if there's ever any snow or anything like that that sits on top of the roof, there's no chance of anything going back up. It's all fully protected, fully watertight. We're going to have a massive amount. We're going to have a foot of snow basically to get any water going, tracking back up underneath the roof, so we will be all good with that. Alex is just getting this last window sorted out, just about to get the lintel up in there, so then that is all good, and then Alex can go back downstairs then and carry on. Morning.
You're right.
Yeah, I want you to show people what you were just doing with that silver tape, how you were holding it, because I was very impressed. I didn't say anything, I thought I'd leave it until now to see the look on your face when I said how impressed I was with your little tape holder.
Well, this people is my my foil tape belt. What you do, just get yourself a bit of old rope, tie it around your waist, take it off, have it there, never ever rip it off level because you're always trying to find your end. All you do, just like a toilet roll dispenser. There you go.
Peel it away, just like that. You've got both hands free, you haven't got to hold onto it.
That's it, you know what I mean? So,
Peel it, Pete.
that's it. And,
Peel it, Pete.
So yeah, I mean,
Peely Pete.
going to Dragon's Den with it in a couple of months. I think it's going to be very big, you know what I mean?
Deborah Meaden, watch this space. So next up on this flat roof, Pete's going to get these lay boards fitted. What he's done, he's used his, how many volts is that, Pete? 53! Ah! So Pete's 54 volt DeWalt, that he keeps reminding me it's 54 volt. Better than my 18 volt, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's cut a 55-degree angle on this so that when the lay board goes up here, if my glamorous assistant would mind helping me, just to demonstrate. So the lay board will then sit like so onto the roof. Basically it will sit like that then, so when our Alitrix comes up here, it's got a nice flat area for it to sit on. There's not going to be any step. If we just to chamfer it up, just to butt it up, you end up with a bit of a step in there, which we don't want. So cut this angle on it just to make sure then it's nice and flush fitting. Get this fixed on, and then our Alitrix will go up there. Insulation will sit up here and be cut in at an angle, which then creates our full-on envelope there. So there's going to be no cold spots, no cold bridging anywhere, because our insulation will come over this, so there'll be no chance of any sort of condensation forming internally. And then once our insulation's on, then we have the Resitrix over the top, which forms our perfectly waterproof seal. I am now going to start on the other roof, over the other side, over yonder, get some noggins cut, get all that finished, and get the ply in. So let's get on with it. Right, so I'm just going to show you what I mean here, how we've constructed the falls that are going to sit behind the window. So basically what we've got is a piece of inch batten, 25mm batten, and then we've ripped down this literally in half. Okay, so this is our centre point of our window just here, and then obviously we want our water to fall away and then go down this way with the natural fall of the roof. So by splitting this in half and then putting those a quarter of the way through, we've then effectively got a really nice fall straight through here, and then our piece of ply will then slide like this, be fixed down. So we've got a good fixing point there, good fixing point there, good fixing point there. It's nice and solid, it's never going to move anywhere. You've literally only got sort of this much anyway of insulation and an area where water's going to congregate, and then it will just literally cast straight down here, straight down there. Piece of ply in there like that as well, same. Okay, nice and tight in there. Perfect. So once that's all screwed down, it's going to move absolutely nowhere. And then these will obviously be trimmed off to suit here. And then these boards then will sit flat on the deck. And then the frame, which is just there, this frame here will sit. So this flange piece here will sit over the top of this. And then it will sit nice and flat, because the last thing we want to do if we're trying to fit it on this, all that's going to happen is, if you imagine this is the flange piece, it's just going to do that basically and rock. We don't want to fix it down and try and force it down, because it may cause issues with the top. So this is how we're getting over that issue. Good morning guys, and welcome along to another day on site. So this side is all finished. We are ready for wheel. All we got to do is just put a couple of fitted strips down that side just to carry our fascia board, but that is holding nothing up. This is all completed now. Alex has got all his block work up in between the rafters. All our insulation is in. We've just got a little bit to put down that end still, which we haven't done yet, and also a little bit just to slide in just between here, just to make sure our insulation envelope is complete. Hi Pete.
Hi John.
Hi. So we've just got to get now this side finished, So we've got to basically put some timbers across the wall over there, and then put the remainder of the ply in, and then you can see we've got an overhang around here. We've just got to get all that nicely trimmed off, and then this roof is good to go. We've got to put our layboard on here as well, sorry, same as the other side, for our alley tricks and resi tricks to go up. And then again, there's another little piece of insulation down there. Alex is going to start getting this area prepped over here. What Alex is going to do is just remove the first few tiles down there, and then basically just slowly start to take the wall down so we can get our pad stone height, because there is a steel going in across there which will carry the floor joists and also the edge of the dormer. So he'll be cracking on with that. We're going to put a bit of insulation in here as well, just in these few, just to basically try and prevent any condensation or any thermal bridging through this bit of steel, just to give it that little bit extra really. And that is about it for today. As usual, we will time lapse it and you can watch us work it. So we've got in here our pad stones. So that will carry our steel, which will then carry the face of the dormer, because the face of this dormer is actually moving out, basically in line with that wall there, just that point there. So yeah, that will carry the face of the dormer. It will also carry our floor joist through here, because this will be obviously in a room. And then it will also carry the legs for our fascia, soffit, and for the rest of the roof. The flat section of roof will continue around here, across there, and just come in front, just over there somewhere. And then obviously this wall here will be built up to that height and come across as well over here somewhere for the roof, to form the roof. So that's basically the gable wall for this dormer, and the rest of it will be out of timber, and we'll have vertically hung tiles on it as well. This roof is all done, ready for Will on Monday. That's it for this week. Hopefully you've enjoyed it and it's been very informative and enjoyable for you to watch. We're off to enjoy a weekend. It's going to be a baker this weekend. It's going to be about 27 degrees, so I'm ginger, I don't do well in heat. I'll be alright, I'll survive. Plenty of sun cream. Right, thanks for watching and we'll see you next week. Good morning guys, and welcome along to another week on site. It is Monday, and as always we're ready and raring to go. We have got the big man, Will. Hey! Will is on site today and he is getting this roof done. So he's already started felting. He is obviously a man of speed, so I haven't even got a chance to get the cameras out, and he's on it. He's on it.
Go.
So Will's going to get all this felt and battened, and then we can get this cut roof tiled before he moves on to the flat roofs, just in case anything was to drop on it or anything like that and damage it. It's just a precautionary measure. Me and Pete are about to get some scaffolding set up all around the perimeter. It's just been delivered, so we can get all that in now. So Will's working safely on this roof. Alex is over there as well doing the brickwork. We're getting the steel in. I'll pop down now and show you what's going on down there. So we've got, morning Alex, we've got our steel in here. So this steel here will then carry the face of the dormer, like I've explained before. The dormer is obviously moving forward and it's going to come right out to this side, and then Alex is just going to get built up here as well, ready to take this lintel that's going to go across the face of the blockwork here for the window and door. So that's it, that's what the plan is for today. Let's get on with it.
Morning everyone, Will the roofer here. Another glorious day, Leamington Spa, and today I'm on a new roof. So, not gonna lie, a little bit excited today. Like I just mentioned, perfect weather conditions, working with all the lads. Whee! So life couldn't be better at the moment. So first thing I want to say about this lovely roof that the boys have constructed for me, everything on this so far has been perfect. Not only have we got the weather, we've got a lovely, perfect roof to work on. So first day, gonna get this felt on, gonna get it battened out. The lads are on the other side, getting that side all ready for me, ready to go. Let's get cracking. So I've got my felt now going across here first. Okay, so I've measured up from the top up there, and I've brought it down, and my first line is here. So there's the top of my board. Okay, so this is where the resi tricks will be coming up here. So we've got insulation, and then also our resi tricks will be coming up to this point here. Then we're gonna have our air vent all the way along underneath there, just to create that airflow for us. So the first thing I've done, if you look, is put that chalk line on here. running all the way through. Sorry, the reason why I've done that, I could come down lower, but we're lifting this felt up here, yeah? We want to work underneath here. So we're going to get this whole section here all tiled in first, so we don't get any debris falling down the roof and damaging our nice, brand spanking new Resi Tricks flat roof. So I'll have my batten on here first, and then I'm going to gradually working my way up the top there at 100mm in between, and it should work out cock on for the top there. Right then, just want to show you where we're at now. I put my battens on pretty much every 200mm all the way to the top there. The reason I do that is now I'm going to get myself up to the top of the roof and I'm going to fill it in, working my way down. Now the reason I do that, if I was to start at the bottom and with these big guppy boots, it gets a little bit tight in between them battens there. So if I did that going up, there's a bit of a risk of my foot getting caught and me slipping, falling down the roof. And we don't want that. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go up to the top and work my way down. Another thing while I'm here, if you look, I've got my bond and my batten going up there. So I've done one, missed one, done one, missed one, done one, missed one. See that? I've put the batten from that end there, come to this end here, cut it in there, and then we filled it in with this bit here. So this time, what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with a full length from this end here, and then I'm going to put the cut down that end there. That way we've kept the split in the batten, or the join in the batten, whichever one you want to say. I've kept that separate, so we haven't got a straight line going up the roof.